Mr. Reeves. Mrs. Maud Rivers.
Very pleased to meet you, Mrs. Rivers. Do come in, make yourself at home.
Can you manage a better night than this, Mr. Reeves?
Oh, this is a very good night, gentlemen. A very good night, indeed. Let me take the lady's cloak. Oh, I do beg pardon.
Who's she? How much are you going to pop that for, Mr. Reeves?
Richard. Richard.
Mr. Rivers loves you. What kept me alive was the thought that Mrs. Saxby would find me. And then I would find Maud and kill her.
She lived here. Sue, didn't she? Will you stop touching me? What a fool I've been. What an idiot. This is Sue's house of thieves, isn't it?
Honest thieves, dear.
Get me a cab.
Hansom or hackney?
Don't you dare talk to me like that.
Oh, she's got a dander, ain't she?
If you don't get me a cab, I shall walk. I shall find a policeman.
Never there when you want them, my dear.
Not in this fog.
Come on.
John!
Use the bag.
Gentlemen, throw it!
Get up! That's enough!
If you don't let me go, I will kill your baby. I have come too far for this.
John!
I mean it. I will. Get me a cab. I will do it.
My dear, I've been caring for unwanted babies for years. The moment I'm looking after 7 babies. Now, you can make it 6 if you like, or 5. No one would miss them. Come on. Seek the fire, John. Make some tea dainty. Strengthen it up a bit.
We're here to look after you. Love you. Like it, do ya? We heard you did.
Oh, go on, you hit the mark there, Betty. My poor hands have suffered so much recently. Mrs. Frobisher. Mrs. Frobisher.
Do if you try, my dear.
Do you want the curb?
Where are you from? Borough. I'm a little out of touch. And the season only just beginning. Are you out?
No, I ain't.
So young.
I'm very much in.
That is the first true word I've heard you say, Mrs. Rivers. In.
In. She's
You
in.
keep telling the truth like that, Mrs. Rivers, and you may well be out before the end of the season.
In.
I couldn't bear to wake you, dear. Feed the babies upstairs, Dainty. Now, oh, come on now. I can see you're a spirited girl, but you can't imagine we mean you any harm.
I can't imagine you mean me any kind of good when you insist on keeping me here when I so clearly wish to leave.
Just hear the grammar in that, Mr. Hibbs. Here, let me take your glove.
Her uncle taught her to be very particular about her fingers.
Made you read a lot of filthy French books. Did he touch you, dear, where he oughtn't? Well, never mind. Better you roam than a stranger, I always say. I'll get you a nice cup of tea.
You plan to kill me, don't you?
It would mean nothing to me, but she would not allow it.
What has she got to do with this?
She sent me to Briar. This is her plan. She controls everything.
How did she know about my fortune? From some servant?
From her?
You're liars. You're cheats. How could you know my mother? I was born in an asylum.
Dear, oh dear. Well, we're not going to put that together again now, are we? No, you weren't born in the asylum, dear. You was born here. Marianne, that was the lady's name, wasn't it, dear? She ran away from Briar just like you did, only her gentleman didn't do the decent thing, not like your husband. She got my name from a woman in the borough that did girls and their complaints. And did she have a complaint, Mr. Hibbs?
Too far gone to get rid of the poor creature.
She was terrified, poor lamb. As her father and brothers, your Uncle Lily, they was after her. So I made up a bed in front of the fire like I did for you. And she had her baby right here. Oh, how Marianne loved her little baby girl. Oh, poor little scrap. Then we heard it, didn't we?
The carriage.
Your uncle had found her. They was hammering at the door. And Marianne, she was sobbing. I must name her, I must. But not a name like the one I've been cursed with, but a plain name. I shall call her
Maud.
Susan. As God is my witness, she cried. I don't want to put my baby through what I've been through. Take my baby, Susan, and bring her up yourself, Mrs. Saxby. Poor and honest, and she begged and pleaded, and it would have taken her heart of stone to refuse her. So before Mr. Hibbs opened the door, I gave her the baby that I was holding, because she was born on the same day. Take her quick, I said, so your brother thinks she's yours. She has the name of a lady after all. Her name is Maud.
Fingersmith concludes next Sunday at 9. And BBC Three's hit new drama Casanova comes to BBC One tomorrow night, also at 9.